Chapter 1. Uncharted Stars. Lieutenant Commander Jacob "Jake" Harris had always found the depths of space both awe-inspiring and unsettling. As he gazed out of the starship USS Odyssey's viewport, the swirling vortex of hyperspace captivated him. The Odyssey, a sleek frigate adorned with the scars of numerous battles, was a proud vessel of the Terran Starfleet and a symbol of humanity's bold leap among the stars. "Commander Harris," interrupted a voice, distinctly non-human yet familiar. It was Artemis, the ship's advanced AI, known for its vast intelligence and an unusual sense of humor. "We are nearing the rendezvous point. The Valerian diplomatic convoy will be within communication range in approximately 15 minutes. Turning from the hypnotic view of hyperspace, Jake's thoughts snapped back to the present. The bridge of the Odyssey was a hive of controlled activity, with officers and crew efficiently managing their duties. "Thank you, Artemis," Jake replied. "Have there been any updates from Starfleet Command regarding the mission brief?" "Nothing beyond the usual cryptic hints," Artemis answered, its synthetic voice tinged with a programmed wryness. "They stressed the importance of this meeting but kept the juicy details classified. As always, you get to enjoy the surprise." A wry smile crossed Jake's face. He appreciated Artemis's ability to lighten the mood, even if it was a programmed trait. Diplomatic missions weren't his usual fare. He was more accustomed to leading his team through intense combat or high-stakes extractions. But the recent war with the Varkon Confederacy had shuffled the deck of interstellar politics, placing new allies and old foes in unfamiliar positions. In the briefing room, Jake's team awaited their orders. They were a diverse group, hardened by battle and bound by camaraderie. Their uniforms bore the insignia of various ranks and divisions, but in Jake's team, rank was less important than skill and trust. "As you know, our primary objective is to escort the Valerian diplomats through the Tenebrous sector," Jake began, addressing his team. "The Valarians are crucial allies, especially after the ceasefire with the Varkon Confederacy. This sector is notorious for its instability, so stay sharp. The Tenebrous sector, a vast expanse of space known for its unpredictable anomalies and unsavory inhabitants, was a navigational nightmare. The idea of escorting a diplomatic convoy through it was a challenge that would test the skills of even the most experienced starship crew. As Jake outlined potential routes and contingency plans, questions and suggestions flowed from his team. Lieutenant Sato, the communications expert, raised concerns about jamming signals prevalent in the sector. Meanwhile, Ensign Rodriguez, a young but brilliant engineer, suggested modifications to the Odyssey's sensors to better navigate the sector's anomalies. The briefing concluded with a sense of determined focus. Jake could see the resolve in his team's eyes. They were ready to face whatever the Tenebrous sector had in store. As the Odyssey emerged from hyperspace, the starry expanse of an uncharted system unfolded before them, with the gleaming ships of the Valerian convoy in the distance. Jake's instincts told him that this mission was more than a mere diplomatic escort. There were rumors of a new player in the galaxy, an unknown force with mysterious goals. Standing on the bridge, Jake felt the weight of the unknown pressing upon him. In the vast, dark ocean of space, secrets and dangers lurked in every shadow, and the line between ally and adversary was often blurred. As the Odyssey approached the convoy, a sense of anticipation filled the air. This mission would not only test their mettle, but could potentially alter the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. And in the depths of space, anything was possible.
Chapter 2. Diplomatic Shadows. The USS Odyssey glided smoothly towards the Valerian diplomatic convoy, a collection of sleek ships that shimmered like silver against the backdrop of stars. Lieutenant Commander Jacob Harris stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the main screen as it displayed the approaching vessels. "Artemis, open a channel to the Valerian lead ship," Jake ordered, his voice steady despite the undercurrent of tension. "Channel open, Commander," Artemis replied promptly. A holographic image flickered to life on the bridge, displaying the face of Ambassador Terrell, a distinguished Valerian with sharp features and penetrating eyes. "Lieutenant Commander Harris, we are grateful for the protection of the Terran Starfleet," the ambassador greeted in a smooth, melodic tone. "We're here to ensure your safe passage through the Tenebrous sector, Ambassador," Jake responded, maintaining his professional demeanor. "We've prepared for potential hazards, but I advise staying alert." The ambassador nodded, his expression unreadable. "We have heard of the dangers in this sector. Your expertise will be invaluable." As the communication ended, Jake turned to his second-in-command, Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen. "Keep an eye on those sensor readings, Chen. The Tenebris sector is notorious for its surprises." Sarah, an experienced officer with a keen strategic mind, nodded. "I've got it, Jake. We're running continuous scans. I don't trust this quiet." The Odyssey and the convoy entered the Tenebris sector, a region where space seemed to warp and twist in unusual patterns. Jake remembered the briefings about this sector, a haven for pirates, smugglers, and worse. But there was something else, something unquantifiable that made even seasoned spacefarers uneasy. As they journeyed deeper, the convoy suddenly slowed. Artemis's voice cut through the quiet. "Commander, I'm detecting an anomaly. It's not like anything we've encountered before." On the screen, a vortex of swirling energy appeared, pulsating with an eerie light. It seemed to warp the very fabric of space around it. "Can we go around it?" Jake asked, his instincts on high alert. Sarah analyzed the readings. "It's spreading too fast. We'll have to go through it." Jake made a swift decision. "Signal the convoy to tighten formation. We're going through that anomaly. All hands, brace for potential turbulence." The Odyssey led the way, its engines humming as they approached the swirling vortex. The ship shuddered as they entered the anomaly, and the world outside the viewport twisted bizarrely. For a moment, Jake felt as if they were suspended in a place outside of normal space. Then, with a jolt, the Odyssey emerged on the other side of the vortex, the convoy following closely. But something was wrong. The stars looked different, the configurations unfamiliar. Sarah's voice confirmed his fears. "Jake, I don't recognize these star patterns. We're not in the Tenebris sector anymore." A cold realization dawned on Jake. They were lost in an uncharted part of the galaxy, far from their intended route. The risks were immense, from unknown spatial phenomena to the potential threat of encountering hostile alien species. As he prepared to address his crew and the Valerian diplomats, Jake understood that this mission had just become a venture into the unknown, a test of their resolve and ingenuity in the face of the vast, unforgiving expanse of space. The bridge of the USS Odyssey was a maelstrom of activity as the crew scrambled to assess their new situation. The stars outside no longer matched any known charts, casting the ship and its convoy into uncharted territory. The Valerian convoy, a mere shadow against the unfamiliar cosmos, maintained a tight formation behind them. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Chen's fingers danced across her console, pulling up star charts and sensor data. "There's no match, Jake. It's like we've been thrown into a completely different part of the galaxy," she reported, her voice tinged with a mix of concern and fascination. Jake's mind raced. Being lost in space was a nightmare scenario for any starship, but with the added responsibility of protecting a diplomatic convoy, the stakes were even higher. "Keep trying to find a frame of reference, anything that can tell us where we are," he instructed. He then turned to Lieutenant Sato. "Open a channel to the Valerian ships. They deserve to know what's happening." As Sato established communication, Jake addressed the convoy. "This is Lieutenant Commander Harris of the Odyssey. We've encountered an unexpected anomaly and are currently working to determine our location. Please remain in formation and stand by for further instructions." Ambassador Terrell's hologram reappeared, his usual composure replaced by a hint of anxiety. "Commander, we place our trust in your hands. The Valerian Empire is in your debt for guiding us through these uncertain times." Jake acknowledged the ambassador with a nod. The weight of the situation was not lost on him, but he knew that panic would not help. "We're doing everything we can, Ambassador. Our first priority is to find our way back to known space." Ensign Rodriguez, the young engineer, approached Jake with a mixture of hesitation and eagerness. "Commander, if we can analyze the residual energy patterns from the anomaly, we might be able to trace our path back." Jake considered this. "Do it, but be quick. We don't know what kind of dangers might be lurking in this region. As Rodriguez and his team got to work, Jake couldn't help but feel a sense of isolation. Here, in this unknown part of the galaxy, they were on their own, far from the support of Starfleet. It was a daunting realization, but one that he had been trained to handle. Suddenly, Artemis's voice broke the silence. "Commander Harris, I'm detecting multiple unknown contacts approaching our position. They're not broadcasting any identification signals." The crew tensed, and Jake's hand instinctively went to his sidearm. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations. Prepare to receive unknown contacts. Let's hope they're friendly, but be ready for anything." The Odyssey and the Valerian convoy powered up their defensive systems, facing the unknown with a mix of fear and determination. On the main screen, shadows began to emerge from the starlit backdrop, slowly taking the shape of spacecraft, unlike any they had encountered before. Jake stood firm, his eyes fixed on the screen. "We've come this far," he muttered under his breath. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it head-on." As the unknown ships drew closer, a tense silence fell over the bridge. They were about to make first contact with a completely alien species in a part of the galaxy no human had ever seen. It was a moment that could define their fate, for better or worse.